Good afternoon, Camp Davy Crockett. I'm Hayden.
And I'm Zeph.
And I'm Jennifer.
And welcome to the
Camp Davy Chronicles.
Oh my gosh, it's exciting. The first episode since summer camp.
That's true. Yeah, it is the first one we've done since summer camp.
Yeah, and we brought our least favorite guest. No, we brought our favorite guest. I forgot what your costume name was.
Russell,
yeah. Sorry. I was going to say Carl, and I was like, that's not right.
That's the old man.
Well, it's been a while since I've watched that.
See, you should have dressed up as Carl. She's Russell, and I'm the house.
No. Well, to be fair, I didn't know that you were dressing up as the house until like
Me neither. But I think it's a good look for me.
It is a good look for
it
you.
is.
It is.
Yeah, you seem very stiff. So, Jennifer, Russell, how are you?
I'm good.
How has it been doing stuff? We just recently had a Cub Haunted, the first weekend of Cub Haunted Weekend.
Right.
How was that?
It was crazy.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were full. We were over full. We had people in tents and everything, and had a really good time.
What do you think, like, your favorite thing that happened that weekend was?
So I was at the end of the spooky trail, like when they got finished, and so the kids were coming out. Like my favorite part was, I was like, "Did you have fun? Did you get scared?" And there were some kids that came out that were crying, and some were going, "No, it wasn't scary at all." And one dad says, "Can you tell me how to get home from here?" So,
like from this exact spot.
I was like, that trail gets you back to camp. So,
oh man, that's great. I wonder,
yeah.
Was the dad scared or was
I think it had just been a long weekend
at
haunted camp, and it was a new family and kind of their first experience. And so I think it's a good experience for first families, but it can be overwhelming too.
Yeah.
I think. So.
I like to imagine. I don't know who was at the front of the trail, but I like to imagine he asked the same question at the front of the trail, and they were just like, just keep going.
That way.
It didn't get better. The haunted trail is cool. I've always liked the haunted trail, mainly because we get to have a fire, and anytime that we get to have a fire, it's a great time. So actually, last year I walked the haunted trail. This year I haven't. I'm not this weekend, but I don't like scary stuff.
So walk through it during the first half hour because it's not the scary part. So the second half hour, because all of the camp staff, the kids, the scouts, hide in the woods and shake leaves and rattle trees and do things. And the first half hour, they have to just kind of like go boo, But then the second half hour, they can kind of jump out and be a little scarier. I don't know.
That first half hour might still scare me. I'll be honest. I don't think you know my displeasure of scary stuff.
I will say the campfire was great.
Yeah, it was cool. I always
really
enjoyed
cool.
doing that.
I think the new families don't expect that.
Yeah.
And they were really, it was, so it was really neat.
What did you do for the campfire?
Lit it.
Oh. We didn't have a program. We just lit a campfire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of people walked down and,
Yeah.
socialized a little bit.
Right.
So it was good.
Yeah, it was cool. We just should have had s'mores.
I did have people ask, are there s'mores?
Yeah, but we had to say no.
Next year.
Yeah, maybe. They're talking about 3 weekends of Cub Haunted.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah. They always call it Cub Haunted Weekend, though. It should be Cub Haunted Weekends.
We'll make it plural next year.
Each one is a... Never mind.
So, Zeph, what's been going on in your scouting life? Anything important?
Not much. Not really.
Have
Program.
That's what I was talking about.
I have the program director down. Well, we've been planning stuff for summer camp 2025.
Oh man!
And we've got the the program, like the merit badge schedule and stuff published, so you can sign up for classes already. You can sign up for like camp first because that's that's pretty important. And like leader's guide and all that stuff it's out there. And I think the staff application is open now too.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. It might be by the time this episode goes out.
It's supposed to have been already, but it's fine. Anyway, staff application is coming very soon, so you can sign up to be on staff next year if you are interested in that.
Yeah, you can check the website. If it says coming soon, then it's coming soon. If it doesn't say that, then it's out.
And it's there. Oh yeah. Also, my picture is on the website now.
Yeah,
Hayden put it up.
It's great. It's a good picture.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
Have you seen my page on the council website?
No.
My membership
Oh,
team.
it's amazing.
It's
Okay.
fabulous.
Yeah.
It's me and the tiger.
Oh,
Garfield.
the tiger.
Does that
Love that
tiger have a
tiger.
name?
I think we named it. We named it.
It's a good name.
We gave it. It's got a name. It's one of those gender neutral names that
Yeah.
starts with a T. So
Yeah, that's not,
not Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Tony.
Terry.
Terry, something like that. So
Interesting.
we put a lot of thought into
Yeah, I
it.
can tell. But yeah, so I was curious about winter camp and how that was coming together because that's the next event that you're in charge of.
That's true.
Coming up. Have you thought about
I
it?
forgot that was a thing. This is the first I thought about it at all. No, we do also have registration open for that, and we have like the schedule and everything for that.
Is there any new exciting things that are going to be at winter camp?
I think so.
It's a terrible program. What about like beekeeping?
Yeah, we did that last year.
Yeah, well, there's two new ones. Like there's like one that's got a castle or something. a wizard.
Beekeeping and masonry.
Yeah.
We're not. I don't think we're adding any new Crockett badges this year. Yeah,
No.
but all the Crockett. I mean, we've only had the Crockett badges for 2 years, so that's right?
Yeah.
I think yeah. So that means it's not possible for you to have more than 4 of them, which means there's still some that you haven't gotten yet. So there's still new exciting things to do.
That's true, and that's the exciting part. I know that some people are indifferent whether they like the Crockett badges or not. I love them. I think they're like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, they are. They are the coolest thing ever of all time. And so if you don't have all of them, you have to keep coming to winter camp until you do.
There you go.
So, but now what,
Now
Mr. House?
What? Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I guess maybe we should find out who the person sitting between us is because we haven't asked.
That's true. we could ask. I was just going to leave it as a mystery.
Oh, well, you know. Well, I'm Jennifer. I am the membership director here for Sequoia Council. So I go out and recruit new kids and start new units and do all that fun stuff. And lots of emails and phone calls.
Okay.
But I really love getting the new people involved and it really is kind of my thing. So that's what I do. I spent all of August and September recruiting kids. We all did. But it's kind of what I do.
Yeah, you do have a very how do I say this nicely? You have a very interesting personality, which I think is what makes you so good at membership because oh man, I'm back to the nice part. You know how to talk to the kids.
I do. I've been an elementary school teacher for all my life.
Oh,
So yeah.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah. So
And so, but I always think that like because you have that ability to connect with them, I think that's cool.
I enjoy going into schools.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What has been your favorite like recruiting moment?
Oh golly. I love because I go in full uniform with like my beads and my neckerchief, like the whole shebang. When I remember all
like
that
this
stuff.
right here?
But yes, except
Okay.
not Disney, but anyways. And the kids are like, at first are you a policeman? Are you a park ranger? Do you work at the zoo? Like all this kind of stuff. But then once kind of you get into it, they're like, oh, how did you get that patch? And and I just say, I joined Cub Scouts. So I didn't really get any of those patches in Cub Scouts, but if I had never joined Cub Scouts, I wouldn't have any of them. So,
That's
and the
true.
kids are just really amazed by, the patches and just all of the stuff and seeing that they get excited about it. So
I think I was telling somebody, it might have been you, I don't know. I don't remember. My favorite part of like the Cub Scout events is getting to see the kids like be excited and because they have a different level of enjoyment for it than like the Scouts do.
Yeah.
The Scouts, they enjoy it, but they're like,
Right.
they're acting cool.
Yeah.
It's like this boring activity ever. But the Cub Scouts, they just show that they're
right,
excited.
yeah.
And so this past, I know I'm jumping back, but I'm just going to forget what you said. This past weekend at the haunted thing, haunted weekends, there was a group of like 4 or 5 kids that were up there shooting wrist rockets. And they wanted to shoot again. And I told them, I was like, hey, we really got to let some other people go. And I was like, but here, I'll make you a deal. If you go down to Ronnie, who is painting faces, and get a mustache painted on your face, then I'll let you shoot again. Well, one of their pack leaders had face paint in his backpack. And so he went back and painted a mustache and did different styles and everything.
That's fabulous.
And it was like that. That was the best moment because it was just hilarious that these kids were coming up.
So he just had face paint like ready on hand.
Yeah. Well, his Halloween costume for the evening was a Viking.
Oh, okay.
And so he had black face paint to face paint him like more mark. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. I thought you just always carried it around.
Yeah, he just keeps it on him,
Yeah.
just in case for emergencies. You never know when you're gonna need to paint a mustache.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, I just imagine like you pull out like multiple colors of face paint. You're just ready to go at any moment.
Yeah. Speaking of mustaches, and facial hair and such, there was one scout who was dressed as Hayden.
Oh yeah.
And it was the scariest costume of all.
that seemed to be the consensus that I was saying. Which I was like, man, it really hurts my feelings. But yeah, she did really good at like being me.
She really captured the essence of it.
Yeah, I felt a little offended because her hair was like really poofy. I was like, I don't think mine was that poofy. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
She actually had everyone fooled. She ran the range by herself for a few minutes. No one noticed.
Yep, that's not true. But yeah, it was hilarious because everybody came through and they were like, wait, we just saw you. And I was like, no, you didn't. So, yeah. Yeah, recruiting. I've never done recruiting and I never want to do recruiting. But
then I will ask you to.
But I'm sure that it's got its moments of enjoyability.
Yeah.
That's not English, but it'll be fun. So any other like cool parts of your job? Or is that it?
All of my job is, I love the program, and I like sharing it with other people and just talking about it. And that's what I get to do. They pay me to do that now. I used to do it for free.
It's a big benefit. Well, yeah, that's cool.
So.
Okay, well, let's see if there's any other questions that we might possibly want to ask you today.
I don't know. There might be. So we kind of talked about it, but what is your like scouting background other than like this job, and what like camp? You got to encompass it all.
Oh goodness. Okay, so
everything you've ever done in Scouts.
Everything I've ever done way back. No, I was not a scout, obviously. My oldest son joined Pack 93 as a Tiger Cub. The line wasn't a thing then. In the fall of 2006. So
wow.
I've kind of been around that long. But I was a mom for a while, and then I got recruited to be a leader, and
a mom for just a while.
Just for a while. I was a Cub Scout mom, but then I got recruited into leadership. I was the popcorn colonel for the pack, and I eventually obtained the role of committee chair. And I will say I've never been a den leader in all of these years.
Wow.
So I've filled in, like done, but I've never been, nowhere on my record does it say den leader. But when my kids got older, I was working at a residential group home. And of course I preached scouting from the rooftops. And somebody said, well, why don't you start a troop here? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I did. Because that's what I do. But so I started a little troop there, Troop 95. And they were about 5 years that we were pretty successful. We did all of the things. We went on the camporees and went to summer camp and did all the things with these kids who otherwise really wouldn't have gotten the opportunity. And a few of them, when they transferred back home from the group home to their own family or into foster care, they joined a troop locally. So they kind of stuck with it for a little while. So that made me feel good.
Yeah.
And then when that folded, I was going to quit and just be a person. And then they said, oh, well, let's let girls in. And so I started the first girl troop in Greene County. So I did that. And
that troop's cool troop. They're always
fun,
they're always like the adult leaders are like really cool, and the people in the troop are really cool. So I don't know. That was the statement.
they're fun people. Yeah, they have good groups.
They're the ones that came to camp twice, aren't they? No, never mind.
No,
Yeah, we'll just act
I
like
don't think so.
Popcorn kernel is a very highly coveted position.
That's
it's
true.
not.
It's pretty. It's
not.
an important position.
It's like it's everybody's first position because they don't know and they don't want to do it yet.
But the name is funny.
It is
that's
fun.
The best one.
It is
That's
fun,
what's
yeah.
the best.
It's a fun name.
Did you have popcorn shoes like Cindy back?
No, I had a popcorn T-shirt,
Oh,
Okay.
but I didn't have shoes. I wasn't aware that popcorn shoes were a thing. I would have
people
had them.
Yeah.
I would have had them if I'd known. But yeah, I had a T-shirt, popcorn kernel. It had the popcorn bucket, but it was blue and gold instead of red and white because Cub Scouts. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Cool.
So what do you actually do when you're the popcorn kernel? Like, other than like wear popcorn outfit? What does that mean?
I was popcorn kernel a whole lot of years ago. And we didn't have show and sell. You know, you had to take your order and go to people's houses and knock on doors and ask people to buy popcorn.
We remember that.
It's a long time ago. But really what I did was kind of keep up with who was selling what. And, you know, we had a prize box. So every week you could bring your order form in. And if you had 10 new orders, you got in the prize box. So I was the prize box lady. And then afterwards, at the end of it, I had to take all of the order forms from all of the kids and turn them into one big order. So,
Wow.
and then submit that order and hope that I got it all right.
Yeah, I remember popcorn sales is where Zeph discovered his first fear of dogs.
Of dogs.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
learned quickly that he was scared of them.
When they almost ate me.
I think we've told that story.
I'm sure we have, but
So,
yeah.
one
Long
of my
story
favorites.
short, I got bit by a dog on a popcorn.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I stood in the back and
yeah,
laughed at it.
Yeah. And I fought back with my clipboard.
Yeah.
It was a
It was
very
very non-heroic.
Yeah.
A lot of girlish screaming.
What?
The dog was a mini chihuahua.
Teacup.
It was tiny. No, it was a fairly large dog. And to be fair, in the dog's defense, the bite was just a little bit, and it was just playing. So Zeph was not playing when he came back with that clipboard.
Sure, just a nip, we'll say that. Okay, anyway, so Miss Jennifer,
Yes.
what is your favorite campsite at Camp Davy Crockett?
Well, I've put thought into this one because I knew it was coming. My favorite campsite we don't use anymore. Yeah, I know. Badger. The Badger campsites way back in the boonies. The first 2 or 3 years that I camped as a troop, we camped in Badger.
Upper
And I don't remember which one's which. But and a lot of times we wound up with another troop, and so we kind of were in both. We kind of just turned it into one big campsite. But that's where, you know, I just really like it back there. And a lot of times when I'm at camp, if I have some free time, or just need to get away, I'll just kind of wander back there and just.
That is a very good place to just get away for a second.
Yeah, it's
because
quiet.
it's quiet. It's weird. There's certain places at camp that just are just quiet. Like even if there can be a full event of 1,000 people out in the world, out there, and you can't hear it up there. It's strange.
So,
Yeah. As long as you have a buddy with you and someone knows where you are, don't go to Badger by yourself.
Never go by yourself. I heard some really strange sounds back there.
The badgers
that were
will
not
get you.
People. So I was like, make sure somebody knows where you are.
It's badgers and Bigfoot.
Oh, that's what it was, I bet.
Could be.
The Bigfoot badgers.
Big-footed badgers.
Bigfoot actually is a badger. That's
just a really
solution.
large one.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry, I was thinking of the wrong campsite. What cheese you up?
What
cheers.
cheers you
Brie. I really prefer story.
Yeah. What cheeses you up on a bad day?
When I'm having a particularly bad day, my friends, like I have one friend. I have more than one friend, but I have like 3. Anyways, but I have one particular friend that has their own like text tone. Is that what it is? Like the ringtone, but for your texts.
Oh, yeah.
So, like just hearing that sound, like, oh, that person's thinking of me, and it's always something ridiculous or silly or something. But that's something that just, that other people don't know that I'm having a bad day and aren't cheering me up because I'm being pathetic and miserable, but because they're thinking of me and care about me. So that really, it does. So, yeah.
It can mean a lot when somebody just, somebody
Right.
cares.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to talk to your friends.
Absolutely. Text someone today.
Yeah. Right now.
Not me.
Yeah. She's not having a bad day. But yeah, that's a good answer. I think that's one of the better answers that actually somebody thought out instead of just like hot chocolate.
Well, which is also a very good answer.
I put a lot of thought into this today.
That's good. You'll be our first guest that's ever done that.
Well, maybe you put some thought into this too. If you could be any type of animal for 24 hours, what would you want to be?
I have thought about this one. I would be a giraffe.
A giraffe?
Yeah.
Because then you could be tall?
Yeah, I can reach stuff up top.
Well, the giraffe's hands are on their feet.
They have really long tongues.
Can you imagine if a giraffe had hands like instead of ears? Like
on the sides of its neck?
But it's like a T-Rex that they're just short, like in the middle somewhere. They're completely useless. Oh, that'd be funny. We should design a new animal.
They like wrestle each other with their necks.
Yeah, that's true. Have you ever seen that?
No.
You should YouTube that.
I will do that.
That is
when we're finished.
Yeah, that is. You know what? While you're texting your friends,
you took them a video. Send them a video of giraffes wrestling with their necks.
Find it. That could be something that you're up.
Could be your text.
Yeah, you'd be like, text your friend like, hey, I found this cool video of giraffe neck wrestling.
Randomly scouts everywhere. Text.
There's gonna be one like national giraffe, or what is it? National. The people that do plants and animals and stuff.
What?
Gosh, what's the
biologist?
channel?
What? National Geographic.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their video is just going to explode all of a sudden with like 50 more viewers. They're going to be like, "What's going on?" Oh man. Anyways, I was really hoping it was going to be a badger. That sounds a bit more.
No. The other option would be an antelope because antelopes are pretty cool. But
you were an antelope.
I'm an antelope. Yeah. But
that's rare.
It is, and special, I'm told.
Yeah, not very many people are an antelope.
There's not very many. We're pretty neat people.
So what is your favorite candy that's in the trading post?
Oh.
And most candies are in the trading post. So
I've never bought candy in the trading post.
Neither have I.
Does it have to be candy? Or it can be something else?
Well, you can be a drink or a slush.
Blue slush puppy.
Oh, okay.
Blue, plain old regular blue, nothing fancy slush puppy. I'm really sad every year when the slush puppy machine goes back. I mean, of course, I live closer to camp than most people, but I'll drive to camp just to get a blue slush puppy. I make the most out of my reusable.
I wondered why you were there every day. You always were just sitting in the corner with a slushy gun.
My blue tongue.
What about just like a snack in general? Like if you wanted some comfort food, what do you
No, I don't know. It kind of depends. I don't know. I eat pretty much any snack. I don't turn much down.
Okay.
Neither.
That's fair.
If it's edible, it tastes good. That sounds like good to me.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Okay.
Do you have a favorite camp story to regale us with?
Oh, goodness. Does it have to be Camp Davy Crockett camp story or just a scouting camp story?
It could be both. Do you have a Camp Davy Crockett favorite story?
Yeah.
Okay, well then tell me both.
Okay, so the first time that I camped as a scout at Camp Davy Crockett, I took my group from Trip 95, my little group home. We had 5 boys there, and we camped with another troop, and the leaders from that other troop were friends of mine. And I didn't know what I was doing. It was my first time ever going to camp, and so they just show up and we'll take care of you. So we did. Well, I am deathly afraid of raccoons. That's like,
oh, really?
The snakes, the spiders, all that stuff I'm good with, but those raccoons are something. And so we had 2 troops, and they didn't know each other, and it was Sunday night, and they were playing board games and cards and just really getting along. And it was a really positive thing. But then it was time for lights out. So we told all the boys, time for lights out, clean up, go to bed. My troop most of them had never camped at all in any situation in their life. But this other troop were experienced scouts. And so we didn't really think anything of it, clean up and go to bed. So they did. And in the middle of the night, I wake up, and there's this noise, this crunching, crackling noise. And so this was before we had cabins and the tents. And I had my Velcro done at the top and the bottom, and I stuck my face out from between the Velcro. And they had left out one of those variety packs of chips with 36 bags of chips. And the raccoons were tearing them open and eating them. And it scared me. And so the scoutmaster next door, I'm like, hey, get rid of the raccoons. I can't do it.
No, I don't blame you.
So one of them ate Doritos under my tent, which was absolutely frightening.
Why'd you put your Doritos there?
Well, I didn't. They took their Doritos there. It just was the best place in camp to eat. I don't know. But I did learn that day that raccoons don't eat sun chips.
Really?
There were empty bags everywhere, but little piles of sun chips.
Okay, so they still opened this.
They opened them.
Okay.
They just didn't eat them, which is kind of like what a lot of people do. I think you don't know if you like sun chips or not. It's like, oh, never mind. It says chip, but
See, I was thinking, that's good for me because I like sun chips. I mine would be safe, but they still are gonna mess with them.
Yeah,
probably still get those.
They probably licked them and stuff.
Yeah, I think everybody that comes to camp has an experience their first time, which makes them scared of something.
Right.
Usually raccoons.
Yes. Well, my first time at camp, I had this dream that this entire nest of granddaddy longlegs was above me in the tent, and that scared me. And I know now that granddaddy longlegs are not harmful, and they still scare me. I can deal with spiders. A whole
nest of them dangling above you in your sleep, even that would be.
And it wasn't a dream. I was there.
Now I have a new fear.
Zeph was holding the nest.
Now I have a new fear when I go to camp. Okay.
Well, they're not. It wasn't real. It was a dream. Have you ever seen, speaking of spiders, have you ever seen the wolf spiders that have all their babies on their back? And then when you step on them, they have a wave of little baby spiders go everywhere. Oh. That's the scariest thing that's ever happened at camp, I think. Because there was one of those, and we stepped on it, and just a wave of thousands of these little baby wolf spiders just went, oh gosh, that's scary. While you're YouTubing things. YouTube that too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes, just don't step on spiders.
Yeah. There you go.
Lesson learned.
Don't step on spiders.
So your story that's not related to camp, that's your other favorite story.
So with the same troop, we were a lot of fun. A group of teenagers, and they have no camping experience at all. We went to a camporee, and it just was one thing after another because they had no experience. We lost one of them on a hike. Wandered off. My assistant scoutmaster was, it was night and she couldn't sleep or I don't know, whatever, but she was up, sitting in her chair, wrapped in a blanket, had her coffee and her flashlight. And one of the boys comes out of his tent and looked at her and went, "Are you a bear?" It was just one thing after another. We had one of the boys come out of his tent, we're getting ready for a campfire, for our little campfire ceremony. So it's dark, it's late, and he's putting sunscreen on his face. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He says, "My doctor told me I'm supposed to wear sunscreen." There's no sun. So it just really, my assistant scoutmaster and I, anytime we talk about camp, that story comes up. So many things happen. We both almost died on a hike that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
But don't take us hiking. It's not a good experience.
You say almost died, just you tripped or something? Like...
Well, no, we're not hikers.
Neither am I.
And so going up the mountain was just too much for me. I was like, just let me just roll to the bottom. I'll
so
be okay.
You didn't even trip. You were just tired.
I was about dead. But then on the way down, and this was a long time ago, and the life straws, the filter were relatively new, and one of the other leaders had one. This was way before COVID because we all shared it. We had alcohol swabs and we swabbed it off, but so there was a little creek that ran through that we had to cross over, and so we all kind of sat down for a rest, and the kids were testing this life straw because it was a really cool, neat thing. Well, my assistant scoutmaster sat down and her body it was just too much and she couldn't get back up. And
I've been there.
So, yeah. The sad thing is that we could see the end of the trail. It was right there. But yeah. We didn't actually die. Neither one of us.
That's good.
Well, I'm kind of, I don't mind hiking. It's not for me.
I'm not a hiker. I did my 5-mile hike that day, and I'll never have to do it again.
Me and Zeph went on a 10-mile hike once, and Zeph was ready to kill me.
What? No, what? He has kind of on purpose. It was kind of a boring hike, though. It was just on the highway.
Oh.
Not the actual highway.
Yeah.
Just go
on roads, the sides of roads. We weren't walking in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it wasn't busy.
Yeah.
I forgot what. Oh yeah. I just asked you. It's your turn.
Well, this is from. Oh, is it?
Yeah, because
this is the question from Michelle Dean, who said, "What is your favorite memory from the first time that you were at Camp David Crockett?" Which I think you already told us
that
the
one.
raccoon.
Yeah.
So there you go. Bonus 2 questions answered in one.
Yeah.
So tell the story all again.
Yeah. So do you have a question for our next guest?
That's the one I didn't think about.
What? Well, it can be something funny. It can be something serious. It can be literally.
I was so worried about not having answers to everything else.
Okay, well, actually, what we have forgotten to do yet is the word of the day. So
that's true. Yes,
I am ready for that. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. My word of the I have 2. Is that okay?
2 pieces of paper.
Okay, I'm prepared.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Not normally. I actually got to a camp. We did the expo when we came to the expo with my troop, and we didn't have any tents. Be prepared is not my motto, but this time. Anyways, we went back and got one of my assistant scoutmasters went back and got tents, but we got all the way there to expo and didn't have any tents to set up. All right, so my first word is disquieting, because the definition of disquieting isn't what you would think it would be, because it's not. It really means to induce feelings of anxiety or worry. So it really doesn't have anything to do with quiet. It's disquieting. So something that makes you anxious or worried is disquieting.
Does that make you less quiet if you're worried about something?
Not me. When I'm anxious, I'm crazy. So I don't know that I'm ever quiet, but I probably talk in my sleep. I don't know for sure.
Oh, you're sleeping.
Okay, and so my other word then is I'm kind of trying to go with a spooky Halloween theme, kind of thing. So anxiety and worry. That spooky trail was disquieting for some of those kids. Okay. Crepuscular.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a good word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, doesn't have anything to do with pus. It's crepuscular, resembling or relating to twilight.
Oh.
So the campfire was stunning on the crepuscular landscape.
Great job. Great job. You nailed it.
That's me.
That is it.
I did good.
You did do.
I remember that. I remember my paper. I was so.
Every time I look over at Zeph, where his hair is rubbing
It's
just stepping up more and more.
Oh no.
I was trying not to interrupt your story. I kept looking over there and just seeing it. And I'm sure you can't tell on the camera, but your entire widow's peak or whatever that is just
straight into the balloon. Yeah.
Great.
That's
I just got a tattoo. It's probably going to settle this way.
Yeah, you're in for that for the next month. Oh man. Okay. Do you have a joke of the day?
I have several.
Okay. Hey, we're ready.
More than merrier.
I can't decide. Okay, so what is in a ghost's nose?
A booger.
Boogers.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. What room does a ghost not need in their house?
The living room?
A living room. Ah, you guys are too good. Okay. Why are vampires bad artists?
What?
Why are vampires bad artists?
The question is funny enough.
I have no clue.
They can only draw blood.
Oh.
Does that make
Okay.
them good doctors?
Maybe. Who won the Skeletons Beauty Contest? Nobody. Okay. One more. Okay. Why are graveyards so noisy?
I've heard this one. I can't remember the answer.
Noisy?
Because of all the coffins.
Oh no.
I couldn't decide. I'm sorry.
No, they're all good.
Well.
I don't think any of them were good.
So
We should submit all those to
The
Scout
Scout.
Lodge,
I did not get mine from there. I didn't
First
think about
time.
it. So
that's where all of our jokes come from.
mine came from some random website on Google.
There you go.
At least it wasn't
paid off this time.
the Cinderella joke that I can never remember. Even though we heard it 4 billion times. Yeah.
There was a Cinderella like Halloween joke, and for a second I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull that one," but then I didn't.
It was something to do with the pumpkin coach or something.
That probably is
She
something.
rides in a pumpkin.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't write it down.
Anyway, to take a brief, serious note, Hayden, I was wondering what you could tell us about camp, like the status of camp, the grounds and everything recovering from the hurricane.
Oh yeah. So I completely. We definitely wanted to address that.
Yeah.
And I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, which if you're living in this region, you should know because it's pretty big news. There was the I can't even say hurricane, right? I was worried about saying Helene, right? I can't even. That came through and
It was pretty bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But from everything that I've seen, we have recovered faster than most places that have a natural disaster like this, and so that's cool. It's been amazing to see the people come together and work so hard to help people that they don't know, just
Right.
to go out there and just do stuff, and that's been awesome.
Yeah, and the council and a lot of the local troops in this region have been putting in their part
Right,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So they've been doing a lot of the the good stuff that scouts should be doing.
Like helping other people
Yeah,
At all times.
at all times.
Yeah. But so before we talk about camp, if you want to help with that, you can go on the council website. The first thing that pops up when you do it is the Hurricane Relief Fund, which helps scouts and scouters and camp rebuild and all that kind of stuff. But speaking of camp, so there was 53 trees that came down. But we got lucky, and not a lot of them came down on a building. I think there was only like 2 or 3 that came down on a building, and it was all pretty minor stuff. There was one thing that kind of got a little broke more than it should have, but
Okay.
it was one of the staff cabins. There's a new skylight feature.
Oh dear.
But no, camp actually fared pretty well, other than like just a bunch of firewood that we have now.
Sure.
That's good news for winter camp.
That's true. Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
that's where
You don't have to bring firewood to winter camp this year.
yeah, we've got plenty. So yeah, and of course power went out and the internet went out, which I think was the biggest thing was the internet. But no, it fared fairly well, I think, in my opinion, professional opinion of
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
So, but everything is up and functional now, other than that one staff cabin. Well, I guess the 2 staff cabins, but there was one that had minor damage and the other one had a new skylight put into it.
Okay.
And so, but they're both down right now. Like they're not letting people stay in it.
Yeah.
And then there was a cabin in Beaver that had a little bit of damage, but they've cut the tree back and they've opened it back up to people being able to stay in it.
Cool.
So, but there's still needing some rebuilding done because, of course, those buildings that did get damaged are going to have to be repaired. And so, any little donation and stuff can help. there's a new hurricane relief patch that's coming out.
That's fun too.
Yeah, it's a design competition, which if you were listening to this on Halloween, you have 2 days to turn this in. So you better get designing. It's got to be 3 inches circle in diameter, and then it's got to be youth designed, and it's got to be turned into stories@sequoiacouncil.com or .org. I think it's .org. Yeah, stories@sequoiacouncil.org. And you have a chance of winning the design competition. If you do that, I think you get a free patch. And then if you work 10 hours if helping anywhere for the relief, you get a patch.
Right.
Awesome.
And then if you would like to purchase additional ones, you can for $7.
We have a lot of scouts and leaders who've already earned that patch.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah.
Lots of, especially in that first week or so, there were a lot of people out helping. So
yeah, like I said, I think it's amazing to have seen the people, the outreach of all these people going out there.
Right.
It's definitely the Southern way.
Right. And we're still, our garage is still kind of a distribution site here. So for scout families or anybody in the community who's in need, we have things here we can help out with as well.
So it's awesome. It's been awesome. Well, the event has not been awesome, but getting to see the people has been this is awesome.
The response.
You can just tell. It goes back to that thing that you were saying about knowing that people care.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's just to know that everybody cares. And people who aren't even around this area that are coming in to help that's just cool.
Right, yeah.
So, but yeah, was that enough?
Yeah, I think that's good. Good addressing it, yeah. Do you have a thought of the day for us?
Don't have buildings around trees.
Oh my. Okay.
Well,
or don't plant trees around buildings. I guess we didn't intentionally plant them there.
No. Okay. I have a thought of the day for you. You thought. Yeah.
Interesting. So
there are many phrases that we use very commonly. Yeah, that's it. That's the thought. that are two things that go in a certain order for no real reason. So like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You could say a jelly and peanut butter sandwich. It's the exact same thing, but it's not. It's just not right. You feel uncomfortable. You're like, that doesn't exist.
It makes you disbobulated.
Disquieting.
So, I mean, there's many of them. That's kind of like cheese and macaroni, or what if you're really stressed out by a lot of noise around you and you want to go away by yourself somewhere to get some quiet and peace.
Yeah, that does just sound terrible.
Yeah.
If you were to make cheese and macaroni, would you use the squeezed cheese or would you use the powdered
squeezed cheese? I thought you said squeegee.
To get the cheese out of that package?
No, squeezed cheese or powdered cheese?
Neither, preferably.
No, well, that's a shame. Yeah. I don't know, when you said peanut butter and jelly, I switched the entire phrase around, like, completely backwards. And
sandwich, jelly, and butter peanut.
I was like, yeah, that does sound weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so our final thing is up to you. Wise words of wisdom for the listener.
Wise words of wisdom.
Yeah, it can be anything, your favorite quote. Well, yeah, no, we don't have anybody prepared for this one because it's going to be on spot. And so it could be like a favorite.
I listen to all the podcasts, I should know.
It could be a favorite quote. It could be just like a do good, turn daily. Yeah. Anything that you want.
I don't know, just be nice to other people. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Just be nice to people.
It was that easy.
And don't send me any texts.
But so go send your friends the video
giraffe,
of the giraffe wrestling.
And the spider.
Yeah, and the spider.
Yeah, if you
don't have to send that to your friends. Some people might have arachnophobia, or you don't want to. Yeah. Nobody has giraffophobia. So.
I mean, maybe someone.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
But if that is your friend, you probably know. So don't send it to that friend.
Maybe send them a text and ask if they have giraffophobia. And if they say,
random question, are you afraid of giraffes? No? Okay, good. Watch this video.
Okay. Well, with that, I think we're done.
Yeah. It's a great day to be a scout at Camp Davy Fun.
Bye.
Camp Davy Chronicles. It's a podcast about Camp Davy. Crockett.